I know a lot of you new riders out there, you know, have a tough time choosing which bike you should start on. And, you know, a lot of you guys ask me, say, CycleCruza, you know, should I get a 400cc starter bike or a 250cc starter bike? A lot of you say, you know, CycleCruza, I hear the 250 suck on the highway and may be dangerous on the highway where you don't have enough power. You know, if cars are bothering you, you won't have that power to get away. As where a 400cc bike makes more sense out here because it has more power, but not too much power for a new rider. But you know what, guys? I'm going to give you my opinion on it and help you guys choose the right motorcycle to start on. Stay tuned.
Let's go for a ride. You are watching CycleCruza's all-in-one motorcycle channel. Subscribe today. Continue to leave video suggestions, but you may find what you're looking for by visiting my website at CycleCruza.com and click on the menu tab My Videos. And those are a bunch of playlists with all of my videos categorized in them to make it easier for you to navigate through.
First off, you new riders, make sure you get gear. And I tell you, if you're going to ride on cold days, these heated gloves that are battery powered are absolutely amazing. I have a link to these in the description and comment section of my video. And make sure you get that airbag vest. I think all riders should have the airbag vest to help keep you safe out there. And this Dainese winter jacket is absolutely amazing, keeping me nice and warm on this 38-degree day. And also my ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet here is absolutely amazing. I have links to all of my gear in the description and comment section of my videos. Just make sure that you plug the tether in. Otherwise, this airbag vest is no good if it's not connected to the bike. When I started back riding, you know, back in like 2008, I think it was, or 2009, I started back. And I will tell you guys, I had a tough time choosing which bike I should get, you know, to start back on. You know, I used to ride back in the day, you know, in my youth, but when I got older, I couldn't afford a motorcycle when I became an adult. And when I went to college, I was a struggling college student like so many, and I couldn't afford nothing. I couldn't even afford a bicycle, let alone a motorcycle. But I'll tell you guys, whatever you do, do not buy a Chinese scooter. That's what I started back on, was a Chinese scooter. And I was so stupid, I got two of them. And it cost $1,000. It was super cheap. And I said, hey, what can I lose, man? You know, there were some people saying that they're pretty good. And so I decided to get one. I had bad luck with both of them. And actually, they were downright dangerous because they came with crappy tires that slid all over the place and when it rained. So stay away from the Chinese stuff, but if you're going to do it, hey, that's on you, man. But CycleCruza does not recommend them. Now, 400cc versus 250cc. As you guys know, I had a CBR 250R, and I will tell you guys that that bike was a really cool bike, man. It did fine on the highway. I think I topped out at like 90 miles per hour, or maybe I think it was like 80 something miles per hour. It did pretty good. Now, obviously, you're not going to blast by cars, you know, at like 65 miles per hour and try to take it to 80. It's going to take a while to get there. So, in the sense of being able to pass cars in case there's danger, you know, get away from a car, you're not going to really be able to do that on the 250 too much. So if you're going to be commuting to your job or something, and you're going to be on the highway a lot, or are you planning on doing a lot of traveling around the country on the highway, then you probably don't want to get a 250. You know, I know some people may argue on this, but honestly, from my experience of riding the CBR 250R, you know, it's not a powerhouse on the highway. So it's not going to, you know, you're going to feel vulnerable. Same with the WR 250R. I had two 250s. I had the CBR 250R and the WR 250R. And I did, you know, it's fine on the highway, but you're not going to be blown by cars. You know what I did now, what you can do, like the tactic that I had in my mind, that I always rode on the far right lane on the highway, you know, next to the bailout area, so that if a car does mess with me, I'll just go over to the bailout area, you know, especially with the WR250R, because I can go right off into the grass. I can get away, man. I can go off-road. That's what I love about dual sports. That's why I always recommend to new riders that to get a dual sport, because you can beat on them. Started right back up. You know, as a new rider, you're probably going to drop the bike, and the dual sports could take a beating. It's not a big deal. The plastics are cheap to replace, and the insurance is super cheap for everybody of all ages. They use very little gas. They're you know, usually very highly reliable. They can take a beating. So I always recommend those, but I know everybody doesn't want to ride, you know, a bike that looks like a dirt bike, or they don't, or the seat height is too high for them. And that's, hey, that's your prerogative, man. But I would say that honestly, I would recommend the 400cc. You know, I own a 450. I own a YZ 450 FX. It has a race engine on it. It's a 100% dirt bike that I actually converted into a street legal Supermoto, which it's an amazing bike, but it requires a lot of maintenance. But that thing is probably too much power. It's too much power for a new rider, man, even on the streets, because that thing just rips, man. You hit that throttle, it's got so much torque, it'll buck a new rider off the bike if he doesn't know how to handle that throttle right. So I do not recommend getting, you know, a 450 dirt bike and converting it to a you know, street legal bike as for a new rider. Start on the smaller bike. You know, the 400cc bike is I think it's perfect, actually. Like the Kawasaki Ninja 400, I think that's a perfect bike for new riders, because it doesn't have too much power that's going to get you into trouble, but it's got enough power that you can, you know, get away from cars on the highway. You know, it's got good passing power. But whatever you do, you new riders out there, don't buy a new motorcycle, because there are so many used bikes to be had out there, and it'll help save you a lot of money. And I will tell you guys that the longer you ride, the more you're going to want a different bike. You've seen all the different bikes I've had. I like to change bikes every year now. I like trying different bikes, and you're gonna want to try a super bike or super sport. Like I'm on a super bike right now. This is an Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory, and this thing is not recommended for new riders. I know some of you new riders out there are gonna say CycleCruza. You know, these super bikes these days, like the Yamaha R1 and the ZX10R, they have rider modes on there where you can reduce the power. You know, I still don't recommend super bikes, because you're going to be tempted to put it in full power before you're ready. Just start on the smaller bikes, guys. Listen to me. Start on the smaller bikes. Smaller bikes are actually a lot of fun out here, in my opinion. You know, these big super bikes, look what I'm doing right now, 35 miles per hour out here. This bike doesn't want to be on this street doing 35 miles per hour. This bike wants to be at the track, ripping it, you know, doing 150 plus miles per hour. Doesn't want to be putting around out here on the street. This bike wasn't made for that, man. The smaller bikes, you can rip them out here on the street, especially, you know, the Supermotos and everything. That's why I said that I think the Supermoto and dual sports, like I said, is the best type of motorcycle you can get as a new rider. I'll keep saying that. You know, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's the truth, man. But so honestly, like I said, 250 is great if you're not going to be riding on the highway a lot. But if you are going to be on the highway a lot, the 400. So really, I just have to give the upper hand to the 400cc. That's what I would do if I were starting out again. I would probably get like a Ninja 400. Or you can get a Kawasaki Ninja 650. You know, it doesn't have crazy power that's going to scare a new rider, but yet it's got great power for the highway. And the Kawasaki Ninja 650 is a really good looking bike too. But there's so many, you know, so many different type of starter bikes out there. You got the Yamaha R3. I know some of you guys are probably going to ask me, CycleCruza, what about the Yamaha R3? Honestly, the Yamaha R3 is a really cool bike. You know, but it is what, 300 cc's, and I've never rode that bike. But honestly, I would probably, I would recommend, like I said, if you're not going to do much highway, any the 250, 300, you know, that's fine. But honestly, on the highway, I would go with the 400 if you're going to do a lot of highway. But anyways, that's just my opinion on it. Leave a comment below and let's talk about it. That's why I do these videos, to help incite community discussion. But don't forget to subscribe to my All Over Motorcycle channel. Hit thumbs up, share, like. Appreciate all you guys. Take care.
Thumbs up. Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.